is able to take that win, which is something I did not expect, but I think that should be a sign to a lot of players like, hey, Kier is still in pretty top shape. Like, this guy is not someone you can just roll over. Kind of like I did a little bit. I was like, no, this is my boy Dark. He's playing really good. He's got this win, definitely. I was wrong, man. Kier got this, and now that's going to give Jin the advantage. Maru is looking a lot better than soO these days, definitely. He's looked a lot better in terms of individual performance, as well as, soO not playing at his best these days. And I don't know, with that momentum, we could definitely see Maru looking pretty good in this next one.
Yeah, I think we definitely could. I'm really looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring to the table. And also, where is soO at right now?
Yeah.
What is actually his form right now? Because, well, let's talk about Maru first, because this is his moment here.
I love these songs, man. It's so cool.
Well, 23-15. Upwards arrow, an 8-6 record versus Zerg. A pretty solid streak that we saw from him as well. And obviously this guy was at one time the undisputed best Terran player in the world. He's still up there. He's still very solid. And, I feel like the bigger question is, where is soO at right now? And I think we're going to have to assess that today.
That we will. We're about to get a look at him. Very curious to see what his song is as well. So again, Maru, this kind of fits his style. He's very calm, laid back here. But this is soO.
All right, soO, 28-31. Hard to believe he has a less than 50% ratio. You hear the scream, the roars in the crowd as this guy comes out. He's 6-5 versus Terran. This guy is the king of silver. He's been, in more finals than almost any player, if not more than any player, besides maybe Tasia. In Korea recently, one of the most consistent Zergs we've ever seen. And let's find out what he's going to bring to the table today. I think his skill has to be assessed. He has that downward arrow because he has been slumping a little bit recently and not perform as well as people that were expecting so far here at the end of 2014.
Yeah, he's got a lot to prove here today, actually. This is probably, like you were saying before, one of the best Terrans in the world, and he's playing for his team. They're down 0-1. He has to show up today. If he doesn't, you're going down 2-0 to Jin, and SOS is that third player for Jin. That's not a good position, man.
No, it's not. Both players are ready, guys. It's time for game number 2, Maru versus soO.
Up here in the top right in the red for the Jin Green Wings. The Terran player, it is Maru.
And to the bottom left in blue, it's soO, the Zerg brother of Dark. Dark fell. Let's see if this affects soO's confidence at all going into this.
It says, happy birthday to the arena, the next arena. I guess it's pretty close to that time. I'm not sure if it was exactly on this day. But regardless, I mean, this arena has only been around for a year.
Yeah.
And it's a great place, man. Anyone who has come down here has enjoyed their time. There's 2 levels. It's all free. I got like a tweet yesterday about this. Someone asking, hey, I'm in Korea. Is it free? Do I need tickets?
It's free.
No, you don't need tickets. You can come here anytime you want, and you can meet all the players. You can get autographs. You can get pictures. You can do whatever you want. You can watch these games.
I'm going to get a tattoo like around my neck and those cursive letters that says, yes, come down to the studio.
No,
it's
man,
free.
it's got to be on your forehead. Make sure everybody sees that.
It's going to be like right on my collarbone. The sexiest tattoo ever because nobody knows. Yes, it's free. Come down. Do yourself a favor and come down. Do the right thing and come down.
Yep, and it says here once again,
just
happy
congratulations,
anniversary.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary here.
Well, it's going to be a CC first with a proxy soO hatch. I think Cats may be involved.
Are you out there
Cats
watching
may
this?
be involved. I don't know. Cats, what did you do? What ideas have you put into this man's head? All right, first-person views, people. Let's see if Maru scouts this, and let's see what he's doing when he does.
Well, he's spamming around a lot here. But again, like you said, he's got to get that scout down. But so far, nothing. I don't think most Terran players would ever scout for this kind of thing. I mean, it's not something that happens very so often. You know, maybe you would go and scout your opponent, but not for a hatchery right next to your own damn CC.
Yeah. This is right up close and personal. And sometimes we see spine crawlers with this type of play. Sometimes it's just Lings rallied out. There was a build with in the old, I think it was even in the Wings of Liberty beta, where you could actually proxy a hatch into the Terran's wall, cancel, make an evolution chamber, and then win the game with Lings and the Broodlings that pop out of the evolution chamber when it dies. We might see something similar here. We'll just have to wait and see, because this is soO. soO loves to do builds like this from time to time.
Angry soO, man. Aggressive, angry soO. Gets that angst. He's got to kill some Terrans. And here we go. Okay, so gas is out of here for soO. So it's almost definitely going to be speed here.
He sees it, and he cancels that bunker.
Could be Banelings or speed here. We're going to have to wait and see exactly what he puts down.
Well, let's see what this drone does here. Going to go ahead and start spining it up. Got to keep it protected for whatever else he's got planned.
Yeah, so far just stopping at 96 gas, but I guess he just mined 4 more and started that speed there. Okay, so we're going to have a huge rush of speedlings here. But again, like we were saying, most important thing is getting that scout down, and he finally does.
Yep. Now, what's really, really important here to note is that Maru is actually rushing a factory behind this. So he's not going to have a lot of Marines. You know, this is a normal opening. Straight into the factory. This Overlord shouldn't die. He's going to be able to save that. He's also got a Queen to help protect. But what's scary for soO, if this build doesn't do a ton of damage, is drops are going to be out really fast, and he's not going to have too much of an answer for that. Yeah, he'll have speed, but if his units are up here at the front, they're not at home, drops can be quite scary. And Maru, even though he doesn't have his base, neither does soO. And Maru has 2 mules that he could drop at a time here and double SCV production.
He's immediately putting down the tech lab on that factory for tanks. Would have to say he's going to get them on the high ground here. You know, Foxtrot Labs actually has that little, you know, cliff there that you can put some tanks on, or just behind your bunkers if you want to push away the spine crawlers. Going to be great for pushing them back. Immediately the first tank is started.
These spines are going to start poking away here. They've got great range, and with that Overlord, he's got vision. A great scan there by Maru as well, knowing there's no Baneling nest coming up. No crazy lair or anything like that.
Sees no gas being mined as well, so knows that it couldn't have been hidden anywhere, like even behind the hatchery there, which would have been pretty crazy. But
repairing this bunker is really important, because if this wall goes down, who knows what's over there? You know, it could be a ton of Speedlings coming in. So he's going to have to actually repair this bunker until he can deal with the spines, and that's what the siege tank is going to help to do. It's adding a few more barracks. Not actually adding the starport like I thought he would. Just really wants to turtle up here and push this back safely and carefully.
Yeah. Whereas soO, he's not going all in with this. He's only made 4 speedlings, and he's droning behind this. He's getting a natural hatchery there. He's putting down his 3rd base as well. This is just meant to delay the expansion of the Terran here.
This is such a cool build, because it's never this type of build is never going to be something you expect to hit when you're practicing, when you're preparing. And look at all the creep that he's spread. He's spreading it towards both sides. Taking this base is going to take a long time. He's going to have to scan. He's going to have to kill tumors. Gets those tumors, luckily, all in one scan. And that spine crawler very close to falling. In fact, he'll get both here. And, you know, this rush, quote-unquote, I guess you could call it, is essentially over. But he's still going to have to clear that hatch. The creep is going to take quite some time to recede. He's still lost a lot of mining time at that natural. But he's stayed really competitive with his harvester count. In fact, for a while, he was ahead. Still at 32 to 40 with those mules.
Yeah, we're going to have to see what the transition here is here for Maru. He's already made 2 tanks, and he is getting that starport out here. He's making a bunch of Hellions as well as his drop shit. The stim is about to finish here as well. You were talking about all those barracks coming down here. He could definitely just go for some kind of timing attack. Or I guess it wouldn't really be a timing attack, just more of like a reactive, like going for an aggressive push here with a bunch of units. towards the base of soO because he knows that soO behind this is probably just macroing up, and he may not have that much of an army, and he can definitely put on the pressure, or at least force a ton of army units here out of soO.
Right. With an armory this early, to get those Hellbats out, Banelings are absolutely essential, and we do see soO with that Baneling nest finishing up just now.
They're essential, and they're great against Hellbats, but they're not good against tanks.
No.
And if Maru, who's already got 2 tanks, if he just sets up a good position here, you can get the tanks behind, protect against the Banelings, which is the tech of choice for soO here. I mean, even Roaches would have been bad against the tanks as well. And I don't know about this for soO here. I mean, that's a really strong push coming his way.
Yeah, Medivacs are out now as well to help heal this up. So if the Banelings get cleared, dealing with this Bioforce with Hellion support at the back, soon to be Hellbats, which can also be healed by the Medivacs, is going to be impossible, essentially. He's got no spines. How quickly does Maru react? Not quickly enough! And here come those Lings, first killing the Hellion, and actually could get a ton of damage done here. Could actually morph some hidden Banelings into the base as well, but the attack is on. This base is now sieged, and Hellions could chase those drones.
They could. Getting that supply depot up here, actually, even though it was a little bit late, you will get the repair there and keep out those Zerglings for a while as he is going for the push at the same time. Now, what does soO have here? He's got a bunch of Banelings in the back. Here he goes.
Yep, here he goes. But those siege tanks can target the Banelings down. Does get some great hits, actually. Not only does he get the Hellbats, but he gets a shot on those Marines as well. And here come those Banelings from earlier. They're just going to go right in here. And Maru is falling apart here. He's taken so many losses in the main base. But not only that, his army does spread a little bit thin here. Let's see how long soO can hold down this hatchery, which is at 140 hit points. It looks like it's going to be burst down.
He is going to get that down. He does have a decent worker count here, though. He does have 50 drones. And as long as he can slowly push this away, he has done a ton of damage here for Maru. Even this barracks is burning down. He doesn't have any defense here. At his natural, he's going to have to move his SCVs in the back and delay a bunch of mining time at the same time. soO is starting another third base, actually, to the top left, which will be hidden for a while. It's not going to be on that direct attack path that Maru went for before.
Consider as well that soO has this creep spread still outside of Maru's base, so he still has vision of everything that moves out and which direction it moves out. If he sees a medevac heading towards the bottom left of the natural, going towards his new third base, then he can react accordingly. He can send some units over there, try to intercept. He's already spread his creep pretty far towards that base, so things are starting to get linked up here. Okay, this is a big engagement.
The 2 tanks in the back are doing a great job, but that's a lot of Lings. He's forced to pick up and drop down once again. We do see +1 to armor being researched right now for the Zerg. So it's going to take a lot longer to kill all of those Lings.
Yep, tanks slowly stuttering forward here. This is definitely going to have to be a pickup. Way too many Zerg units on the ground. This tank, relatively exposed, but he doesn't actually go for it.
Yeah, very, very patient attacking, actually, by soO.
Yeah, very conservative, his movements here.
Yeah, not just trying to clean it up all at once. He's waiting until he has an overwhelming mass of units and then going for the attack. Only sending some Banelings 5 at a time forward, and then coming from the back are some Lings to take out one tank. There is a bunch of Marine support here, and they do take out a lot of Lings, but getting that one tank will take away a lot of power from this push.
Those Queens with transfuses, so much tankiness here. Maru with a confident engagement, but soO just able to keep transfusing, keep pushing that back. With so many Queens here, he's got 7 in total. You can just keep healing, buying time for Banelings to finish, buying time for Lings to come out. But Maru is very far forward here. Queens could target medevacs to actually prevent the retreat. And I think he's just going to slowly step back again. One Queen with a full energy does go down. Good target there by Maru.
So far, man, like you were mentioning, the Queens have been the key part of defending this push. He's had 5 of them in this, fighting Queen force, I guess you can call it here, to defend the front. And he's just slowly making Lings and Banes. Although this push is very, very strong, it's still Maru only on 2 bases. And soO's got 3 bases, even 4 bases, actually. But again, totally cleaned up here by the Marines. He does have those 2 medevacs for the healing as well. And where are the Banelings?
Well, he's run out, it appears. No Banelings in this area, and that Hellbat is doing so much here. Look at all of the money that soO has right now. He can't spend it because he's out of larva. He's got no larva to spend his money because his Queens aren't injecting. They're fighting, and now they're dying.
They are dying. All those Queens do get killed. And one thing to note as well, even though soO does have 4 bases, there's nothing mining here at this 4th base. It's just that one queen injecting. And so he's pretty much on 3 bases here. And his harvester count is not that great. He's only at 41. This isn't really enough to sustain that overwhelming amount of banelings and lings that I was talking about. He certainly can't transition at the same time. We do only see lings and banes and just trying to get some upgrades out. But no mutas for the near future here.
No, definitely not. Oh, let's see how he wants to approach here with these medevacs. He's moving around towards that old natural. And he's going to find some damage. Needs to get his Hellbats into the perfect position, which he does, in fact. As soon as the banelings come, he can just lift up, and that's exactly what he does.
Yeah, really nice micro at the same time by soO. He does have the lings attack at the front and the right and left sides. And that could have been disastrous if he just 1-8 in there and it was attacking through the minerals. You need to get that surface area as the Zerg to get around the Terran army.
Well, we have this funny situation. We do sometimes see this in situations like this, and oftentimes actually in PvZ when you make your fleet beacon after a second Stargate, it's the armory that he's making right now. He actually doesn't need it. He wants to have it for his upgrades, but he already has one. Big Baneling hits on those Hellbats. Baneling speed is not done, so it's tough to continue an engagement.
Yeah, but
that
the
was
thing
a great
is,
trade.
One thing we did mention, from the beginning of this game, with getting the hatchery up so early on, he has so much creep over here, and it's helping out, but now he's attacking off creep. The Baneling hits are good. He's got a lot of lings for the follow-up here, and Maru is forced for the lift, and he has to drop up here in the main base.
You know, speed or no speed, creep or no creep, it's just a numbers game right now, and soO is just trying to break through. Look at the splits on these SCVs that we're seeing here from Maru. He's in a desperate situation, but he's trying to make the best of it. Meanwhile, Ling's running circles around this command center on their way out, picking up that creep speed boost for just a second, and escape. Gets another good trade. He remains on 4 bases as Maru is still trapped on 2. The 2 nearest bases are covered by creep.
He's trying desperately right now. He knows he needs to take the 3rd base. He's clearing that creep at the 3rd base location. He does have a CC, so he has been able to, make a bunch of SCVs here, but he hasn't been able to get that mining, and soO is just keeping on the aggression. He's not letting up.
Well, again, this huge force of Lings. Now with Baneling speed to support, the Lings trapped from behind. A good lift by Maru, but he doesn't have a wall anymore. The Lings stream through. And this might be the
get
end.
a surround in the main base here. Even though there are not that many Banelings in this mix anymore, they've all blown up. This is just an overwhelming amount of Lings, and there's just not enough Terran here. GG!
And even with the stop position micro, he's not able to prevent this attack. And soO will take the win, bringing SKT back to a 1-1 score.
This guy, man, he is so cheeky. He will go up against Maru and say, hey, I'm just going to proxy hatch, and we'll go from there. Let's see how it goes. He just barely held on for so many of those Terran attacks, even the one that looked really strong, the first one with the tanks and the Hellbats, and that sizable number of Marines with the stim. He was still just barely able to hold on, sacrificing that natural hatchery, and he just made it. He made it work.
He certainly did. Well, I don't know if we could credit any of this to Cats, but I will tell you guys, Cats, a famous North American player and streamer who talks to soO a lot. They're very close, and soO has often tweeted about Cats' builds. So follow soO on Twitter. He might actually give you some insight about that a little bit later, because he does love to give shout-outs to Cats whenever they work together on builds. Maru handled it very calmly, went straight into siege tanks. It was almost like some Apollo 13 situation with all the things he had to use to defend. He was like, all right, I've got a few siege tanks, I've got some Marines, I've got stim. What can I do with all these tools? I'm going to move across the map, I'm going to put on some aggression. He just put everything, he duct taped that defense together and made it attack.
Yeah, man, and Maru would be one of the main, maybe the top 3 Terrans that I would say, oh, he would be able to piece this together and possibly be able to take that win. And he almost did it, man. He had some really aggressive and strong attacks there, but soO just barely able to hold on.
Maru with a little cheeky smile there at the end, but not able to take that victory. Very, very close game and a very close series we're already getting to experience here, Valdez.
Yeah, man. Unbelievable. I thought it was going to be 1-1, but I thought it would be the other way around, But still, it's just mind-blowing. Great series so far.